Hello once again and welcome to this Python course. Today we'll be learning about how to repeat a task. So that's the topic of today, how to repeat a task using loops. Without further too much explaining, please like, subscribe, share and comment so that you don't miss. Let's go. So how do we repeat a task? We repeat a task using loops. So what is loops allow us to execute a statement multiple times. There are two types of loops in Python: for loop and while loop. There is no, if you're from other languages, there is no do while loop in Python. So sorry about that. So let's go. So we'll start with the for loop. So a for loop repeats over a given sequence. So its syntax is, let's say, for variable in sequence. This is syntax. So for variable in sequence, then statements here. So that's just the syntax. So where variable refers to count a variable, I'll show you what it means later. These variables will update every time the loop is executed. The sequence contains the data over which looping needs to be done. So let me show you how it's done. So this is how it is. So for, let me say, I will use a counter variable I will use a counter variable I. So let's say for I in range, these are two keywords in range, let's say from 1 to 10. Don't forget about the colon. Print, let me say print looping. So when we run this, you can see looping is printed 9 times. So it's always 1 and the last number n-1. So this is just a type. So the range is a function in Python. Range takes a starting value and an ending value. So this is our starting value 1, starts from 1 to 10, but -1. So that will be 1 to 9. It generates a list of numbers between them, inclusive of the starting value and exclusive of the ending value. As you've just seen, that's why I'm saying, in my case here, 10 - 1. So that's exclusive of the ending value. So if only one value is passed to the range, it assumes the starting value is 0 and generates the list of numbers. So range, let me say example range 10 and range 1 to 10. This comma here, you can just say 2. So range 10 and from 1 to 10 for range 10 and range 0 to 10 gives the same output or the same results. A third parameter can also be passed to the range function, which represents a step. So like, let me say you can step 2 times. Yeah. Let me now change this to print I. So when you run this, you can see it's keeping one step. So 0 is there, 2, 4. These are the steps. You can change this till to 3 steps, whichever the number of steps you want. So you can see 0, 3, 6, 9. So that's it. That's about the range. So let's go to our next loop. I hope you have understood the for loop. The for loop is very easy. The syntax is quite simple. the for loop does not have conditions, unlike the next loop we'll be learning about, which is the while loop. So the for loop can also be used to iterate over lists, but for now we'll be learning about lists later on in this course, so don't worry about that. For now I'll just teach you how we can create a list using, although it's not advanced, but I can teach you how to create a list using a for loop. So let me give you, like, let's say our list 1. We'll learn later on about list 2, so don't worry about it. So our list 1, lists are given in square brackets. So let's say for I in let's say range 3, I in range, let's say 5, list 1, wait first, wait, so we can give another variable, let's say nouns is equals to integer, then we ask for the user's input. This is how we take the integer input from a user. So we say enter your number, then when we end this, now we go back to our list. We want to add the numbers the users inputs into our list. So we write we'll say list, we used a function called append, a method called append, list.append, then we say nums. So when you run this, you can see it's asking the user for the number. Let me say 4, 5, 8, 9, 4. Sorry. So you have seen this, but sorry, I have not asked for the print. So let me say print list 1. So when you run this again, let's say 4, 5, 6, 4, 5. You can see this is our list. So this is how you can create lists using the for loop. The for loop is also used to iterate through lists. Sorry, I've said we'll learn about this later on. So let's go to our next loop, which is the while loop. I've said if you're from other languages, the Python does not have the do while loop. So we're just going to learn about the while loop. Python has only 2 loops, which is the for and the while loop. So I'm going to teach you how to create the while loop. So while loop works based on the condition. So its syntax, just going to give you the syntax of the while loop here. So its syntax, you start by writing the while, and then the condition, then remember the colon, then the statements. This is a simple syntax. Sorry, this is just the syntax of the while loop. Let me comment this out. So leave comments. So while statement, don't forget to indent. Indenting is very important. If you don't indent perfectly, it will give you errors. That's the only big rule in Python. Otherwise, everything is okay. So the while loop repeatedly executes the following statements until the condition evaluates to false. So let's create a while loop. I'm going to start with a variable. Let's say our variable is number. Let me say our number is equals to 0. So then while our number is less than 10, so we put the condition inside the brackets. Let's say while number is less than 10, don't forget the colon. Then while our number is less than 10, print number. Okay, so let's update our value. Number plus is equals to 1. This is the same as number is equals to, this is the same as number. Let me comment this out. Same as number is equals to number plus 1. So when we run this, you get it starts from 0 all the way to 9. So in the code, variable number is given a value of 0, as you have seen. I've given it a value of 0. In the while loop, a condition is passed which says repeat the following things until number is less than 10. Have you seen? So until number is less than 10, continue repeating. And after the print statement, we tell the program to update the value of the number by 1. This is it. You can also change this. You can update the value of the number by 2 when you run this. The same as the step in the for loop. So you can see 0, 2, 4. You can update this to 3. When you run this, you can see just the same as the steps in the for loop. And after the print statement, we tell the program to update the value of the number by 1. So return this to 1. This is exactly similar to the step in range. Under the for loop, the above will print the numbers from 0 to 9. So when you run this, it will print 0 to 9. So I can also teach you how to. I'll also teach you how to create a list using the while loop. So let me say, I'll reduce this so that this content can be of less time. So let's say while our number is less than 5, let's ask the user for his input. Let's say user in is equals to integer. Enter your input, then tell them enter your number. Enter your number. Oops. Enter your number. So that's it. Then this number, I'm not created my list, so you have to create your list first. So let's say our list 1 is equals to list. I told you we'll learn later on about lists, so don't worry about this. So list 1 is equals to list. Then here we append our list, list.append. Then we append with the user input. Then down here we print over list 1. So when we run this code, enter your number. Me as a user 3, 4, 3, 7, 8. So as you have seen, still the same as the for loop. Just a little different syntax. Please compare it, do more practice, and I'm sure this is a very important part of this course, so don't forget it. That's all for now. Please join me in my next lesson, where we'll be learning about another very important aspect, which is functions. Thank you.